Business has changed and is changing and has to change. Today, I see that marketing and strategy, both business strategy and marketing, does not work if you come from a product perspective, if you come from a technology perspective, if you come from a price point. All of these are playing to the other person's rules. You've got to come from the perspective of people.
And we are keep going with dear Joy. Warm welcome again. I love your name so much. You bring joy to us.
Thank you, Nestle. And Yavuz, it's a pleasure to be here. Brother Rishad ended with the alignment of the brain and the heart, and for the individual human being to approach from the heart.
Yes.
What I'm bringing out, and it's been a 3-year journey, and he's right. He's absolutely right. I don't think I've become a butterfly, and probably I might not, as you can see over here, but it's a 3-year journey that has led me to believe, after a 32-year corporate career, business has changed and is changing and has to change. It's not, for 90 years, we've done this logical, analytical, rational, commonsensical business growth. And I'm bringing something else to this table because we talk exponential growth. Exponential growth does not happen until and unless you have growth spurts. So let me explain that for a quick minute and I'll tie it back. If you look at children, those of us who are parents, who've had children from a newborn, the first 3 to 5 years, there are certain periods when a child grows literally exponentially in terms of brain and physical development. Yes. Business and human being is exactly the same thing. And why I agree with Brother Rishad that this scenario we are in, this pandemic, of course, if you want to give in to the chaos that is all around, the death that is occurring, the unknown that is creating stress, all of that is there. You can allow yourself to go into a downward spiral. But just pause. That's what it's done, right? It's locked us in. It's made us pause. It's made us revalue our priorities. And I'm not going to delve into that. But when you revalue that and you're coming out today, yes, our behavior as an individual has changed. And this is where, as a marketing consultant, I've done corporate strategy and strategic marketing for 32 and a half years of my life across 4 countries, and I've 8 industries. Today, I see that marketing and strategy, both business strategy and marketing, does not work if you come from a product perspective, if you come from a technology perspective, if you come from a price point. All of these are playing to the other person's rules. You've got to come from the perspective of people and a business. What is exponential strategy if there's no Yavuz, there's no Nestle? What is it? It's nothing. It's just a name. It's in any business, that 2 words, human resource. For 90 years, we've been labeled as a resource. We are part of the IT. We are part of fixed assets. We are part of investment. But actually, there's a little bit more. And this is where it connects to Brother Rishad's individual heart. People are emotional creatures. For 350,000, we've existed from the time we couldn't speak and we used to draw in caves to right now where we are communicating via AI. AI gives you speech recognition, right? People feel first, then rationalize. When they feel first, they're already taking action. And this is where I'm bringing in to my clients and to the circle that I impact to say, humanize your business. When you humanize your business, when you bring your people to the front, your employees and your customers, you'll suddenly find a common, if you look at it from that perspective, you'll find a convergence point, a point where 2 things come up as common denominators: hopes and aspirations. Out of the 7 billion people in this world, irrespective of where we are by whatever parameters, we could be Rich, poor, millionaire, billionaire, on the internet, below the poverty line, doesn't matter. But every single living human being will have hope.
Yes.
Hope is what keeps us going from day to day, time to time. And each one of us has aspirations, irrespective whether we are 7 years old, 10 years old, 30 years old, 50 years old, 90 years old. We are always hopeful and we are optimistic because our hope comes from our heart. Our heart is the one that is in sync with the universal energy, which always says tomorrow's better. Give it one more try. So pull this all back together. What COVID's done is COVID has made the world, and I look at the commercial world. I'm not a coach, I'm not a business mentor. I focus purely on commercials for a business. But today, when a business comes, a client comes to me and says, I want to grow by 27%, 30%. I said, thank you very much. You're talking to the wrong guy. You want to grow at a certain percentage, which we will have to figure out. I don't know if the percentage is right. I'm not looking at your Excel. I'm looking at your people, but we will work together for 16 weeks. We will build, operate, and I'll transfer the process to you. And then you see how sustainable it is. You look at your people, you build a community where your employees become your brand ambassadors / advocates. You don't pay $5 million to the next celebrity to talk about your brand because it does nothing. Nobody believes in it. I'm sorry. I'm a marketing guy. I'm saying it live. It's my own version from the data that I have. So when an employee talks, Lorraine, sitting far away, looks at Joy speaking on behalf of humanizing business and say, hey, he's working there. Hey, he's doing this work. He's writing the strategy and he's tweeting, today XYZ happened with HB. Hey, that makes sense. I want to have a word with him. Stage 2, intention of engagement happens. A conversation takes place. Stage 3, make that relationship stronger. Create that conversation to give value to Lorraine. You don't look at, hey, I want Lorraine to buy me, give me my $6,000 process fee, and boom, I'm gone. That's a transaction. You're going to run out of a breath, and you're not going to be able to get your company to scale because you're going to be constantly firefighting to get your numbers. On the other hand, you go back to the old Pareto principle. Look at 20% of your clients, grow those clients, nurture those clients, just like, ladies, pardon me, might be a wrong analogy. When you are pregnant, you nurture the baby for 9 months before the baby is born. And then you nurture your child as a parent for 20 years or 18 years before the child leaves the nest. The same thing today operates in business. You nurture your clients through your employees. Everything else are tools, technology, platforms, communication. Everything else is tools. And this is where leadership comes into play. After 32 years in corporate across industries, we are not going to become a communal leadership structure. That's still a little bit away. We're still top down. So how the leader engages, appreciates, recognizes, and to use my brother Sahib's words, how the leader cares, and he'll explain it when he talks about care as an acronym, becomes what you do as the number 2. And slowly, when you see somebody doing something, you repeat. Think back to the parental home model. Our children model us. There are a lot of literature available to say why a father figure is very important, why a mother figure is very important. I'm not going to get into the debate about those roles, but as employees look at their managers and their superiors, there is a behavior that happens during that 9 to 5, if I may say. Today, it's changed because we are working weird hours, we are working online. It makes the leadership that much more important to get in touch and say, like Nestle reached out and said, and I said, I love Nestle. And I said, I'd be happy to jump into this. It's the trust, it's the relationship that gets translated externally. So in jargon, in marketing, we'd say employee experience becomes the customer experience. You don't have to parallel different programs with different touch points and different concocted stuff, which is not what you are. Be real. So 3 things come in here. When you humanize your business, you've got to talk It's about your heart. You've got to be open about that conversation. So if you're uncomfortable about it, time to go and get some help to find out empathy and collaborative nature. I myself, I'm poor on empathy. It's taken me years to learn and have team members to help me understand the empathy factor in a team. And I'm being open about it. My brother here, Saib, and I work together. His empathy quotient is way up there. I rely on him in our partnership. Together we work on it. So when a leader takes that approach, it creates a safe environment for the team. Once you're in a safe environment, to echo Brother Rishad, you can sit down calmly and say, this is going to be beneficial. You then identify the real value. The real value is not as a business in your product, your technology, your price, or your advertising, or your distribution. The real value is in people. The real value is actually in the culture that you create, that your
Yes.
business and your brand represent, how it actually benefits the community. And here, by community, I don't mean our day-to-day society, but I mean the business and the brand's community of employees and partners and vendors and customers. That's the world that the brand and the business of that brand is operating in. If each business, and that's my mission is to actually touch businesses, transform them gently to be human, to move away from an Excel spreadsheet, to approach it from the heart, to sit down and have conversations, literally have board meetings where people discuss how can our service, our product uplift our community. And then you bring in all the tech. You bring in who's your ideal customer? How do I get my sales dialogue going? How does the sales benefit? How do I forward sales? So let me give you an example from a supply chain client of mine based out of Dubai. New
Yes.
client, 3 years old, supply chain, very badly hit during COVID. In May, we sat down, and this is exactly the process we took it through. I said, can we just reach out to your current customers and ask them, how can we help? And you'd be surprised, the end result of that was today, that supply chain customer has an online dashboard bringing other providers onto that dashboard as delivering logistics. His clients and other clients are just coming onto his service to sign on logistics providers to distribute goods. He earns a management fee. Now, this is between May and now. So you can see it's about a 5-month process and it's still going on. But what happened here is the company that started as a pure fleet supply chain logistics company moved up a couple of levels to provide a supply chain service. Their business became from a physical service to an IT service, which is scalable, and the industry is getting more value. And the people connected to the industry is saying, we want to work with you. And because the two business owners actually went out and built their personal brand and started communicating, the clients approach them. I want to do work with Yavuz. I know, I've heard what he's written, what he said. I want to talk to him. And we know this. People who know people work with people, or people buy from people, whichever way you want. So summing it up, business today, if you're going to continue business analytically, which is not wrong, but it's not going to get you the growth that you need, number one. And why I say this, 2 points. As people, we have become far more conscious on a different level than the consciousness Rishad spoke about. We've become conscious in our ability to filter out, pardon me for the French, bullshit and reality, right?
Yes.
We all know fake news and mainstream and this and that, but we have antennas that picks up real, personal, heart-oriented engagement. We gravitate. So if you take, just as an example, take any of your favorite social media channels that you tend to spend some time on, I would say 90 minutes to a couple of hours in your entire 16-hour day, you'll find that the community you work with or you interact most, and I'm saying you might have 500,000 followers or plus, but you'd be coming down to a handful of maybe 100, 150 people that you're 24/7 in touch with. You know exactly what is happening with them. What is that? That's your community. That's your tribe. That's your group that is like-minded, that reciprocates and appreciates you, you like being there. There's a good and bad in it both. I'm not going to get into that. But for business, that's where it's gone to. You have to create an environment where your employees like doing what they're doing. Because when you like doing what you're doing, you do more of it. Number one. Number two, when you do more of it, you're actually advertising your employer brand. So you're bringing in the talent, you're attracting the talent, inbound marketing, as they would call it in my field. All right. On the customer side, the reality connects. They know that the conversation they're having is not with a bot. And I say this because I've worked with quite a few tech-based organizations in this past 8 months, including social listening and everything. And everybody's coming back to that one point, which is we need people in the organization to speak. And as a result, today, you have the Microsofts of the world and the Apples of the world, all the way down to solopreneurs and partnership businesses like ours, where the business owners are becoming the brand. They are representing it. So that's humanizing business. That's where the more you bring your humaneness, i.e., your heart, and you expose your heart, yeah, it's going to be broken. It's going to be stomped upon. Maybe even for the next 1 year, 6 out of 10 people are going to say, woo woo, a lot of fluff. But hey, send them my way, because I turn fluff into data. I create insights, I write stories, and you can check it out on LinkedIn. That's my main channel. You'll get how to do, what to do, when to do. That's it. It's how business is going. And we will arrive at a point where, a lot of things like this universal income, communal medical care, communal education, these will become, education, travel, hospitality, these are three industries I can see literally within 4 to 6 months is going to have a 180-degree shift. The way we've done education, I've got young kids in school, is going to fade away. Thank you, Nestle.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And you made wonderful opening, first of all. Thank you for that. And your suggestions are important for business leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals. How we make strict policies in business development and marketing, even if you told wonderful things, I would love to hear your thoughts, because we are feeling, all of us, like having a turbulence, and we are in a stormy weather, so that how we will overcome from this situation.
Joy,
One word. Sorry, Yavis. Yes, go ahead.
Joy, one of the greatest presentation I have ever seen, humanizing side, and how to implement this humanizing side inside the company, putting center your employee, and again your employee reflects your customers, and from inside out and outside in, you described fantastic way. Thank you so much. You didn't give us space to ask anything.
No, please ask. No problem.
You draw pictures.
The program, sorry, I was to interrupt, but the program that I run with my clients, it is called Marketing Inside Out. Marketing is not an outside job. You'll see that on my profile. I've worked, as I said, 32 years in marketing. And the perception is always, even in B school, I've been taught how to communicate. How do you make customers aware? What we don't realize, having worked across industries and teams, what you're doing and what you're feeling internally is actually the reaction. Just imagine you wake up, and before you leave for work, in the days when we used to go out for work, your day doesn't start off the way it goes. For some reason or the other, you get cranky or crabby, and you leave and you rush and you do your commute, you get to work, and then you're running 15 minutes late behind for a meeting. Your mind is frazzled. Your behavior is tense, agitated. So even on your immediate colleague, you are going to snap. It's a normal human reaction unless we are mindful of controlling ourselves and saying we have the choice. This is not bad. It's happened for a reason. Good. I'm 15 minutes late. Let me send a message. I'm late. Boom. Calm down, carry on. So the point here is that when Rishad said, go within to find yourself, right? In business, I'm asking business owners like ourselves, and others running large companies, go within, because the strongest potential asset that you don't need to spend money because you've already spent money is sitting on your premises or sitting on your screens are your employees. There's two things that are required by leadership: appreciation, and the second thing is humility. Humility, let me just take a second here to explain. A leader is not supposed to know everything, because then you're not a leader, you're a boss. You're just bullying people to say, I'm superior to you, I know everything. So as a leader, if you say, I don't know, hey guys, Nestle, Lorraine, Yusuf, can you help me here? What do you think we should do? You know, that ownership that suddenly comes in, that, oh, wow, okay, so my CEO is asking this. That is what I do. I have a 5-step process. It's marketing inside out. And at least, alhamdulillah, so far, by the work I've done, because I cannot work more than 4 clients at a time. I work on 16 weeks on a process called build, operate, transfer. I've done for 7 clients over the last couple of years. And yeah, they've gone away, but they're all happy, hopefully. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm going to sign 2 of them back on just on the relationship. So if you focus your insights, every organization, what you're going to land up with is sustainable growth. Now, depending on the industry you're in, if you're in tech, you're going to have exponential, just like Zoom had, right? If you're in education and you get into it now, in 2 years, you're going to hit exponential growth. And I'm talking of growth from a financial measurement criteria. That's it.
I have a very quick question,
Please.
if I can. I'm very impressed with your presentation and also your background. I mean, you are a great teacher for me. That's how I look at it, especially the work you have done in Islamic finance. I know maybe we're deviating from the question, but during this crisis time, do you think economically the main pillars that are coming, like in a halal economy where interest free and not taking advantage of just making money out of money type of attitude, should be relooked by capitalism? And should there be a way, a value, Islamic, insurtech, Islamic fintechs, and other digital, entrepreneurs that we are always working with? Do you think they will come up with an answer in this day and age?
That was a great question. And please pin this on my name, because I'm going to go out on a limb over here. Let me start with the back and then I'll come to the front, which is, will the entire halal and Islamic finance category find an answer? My answer to that right now, and it's a very cynical response, is no. The reason I say no is because the industry has spent 60 years, especially in Islamic finance. Halal, I personally have been involved in that industry for 12 years, and I have walked away, removed myself from that industry, being a Muslim and everything, and that's a separate story. But my answer is no, for 2 reasons. For 60 years, we've not found a common ground, and we've not been able to give to the world something that is already available readily there. So if somebody's telling me that it cannot be coded, it cannot be provided, the effort is not going in. That's my perspective, personal perspective. 1. Why? Because IF, Islamic finance, started up as the perspective was, can we have a parallel system to remove the interest component so that global ummah or the Muslim community can use these products? I think that perspective itself was wrong. The perspective should have been a financial system that allows for equitable distribution of profits. Then you're talking different, and then you go to Basel, go wherever. So that's Islamic finance. On halal, I think if we decide to agree, we've got a common standard. So, we might be having 4 schools and mazhabs and stuff like that, but it's actually, in my personal opinion, and it's just a personal opinion, it's man-made. Now, can we do it? Yes, definitely we can, because there's a lot of work which has been done in fashion, a lot of work which has been done. I'm leaving food out, but if you look at fashion, pharma, and tech, a lot is there. The only thing is, if you're expecting this to get the kind of exposures that a Google gets or a Microsoft gets or something, it's not going to happen, because the control is not there. So it's again up to the business to grow their community. And this is where my humanizing business comes in. So the supply chain that I just gave the example from is one of those. It's working with an Islamic finance background. It's working with total halal lines out of Malaysia, out of Amsterdam, in shipping. It's working with a particular shipping line that is bringing together liners for food, pharma, and other containing over there. It's happening. It's not that it's not happening, but these are, as I would say, a little pebble on the ocean. When you throw a pebble, you can't even see the ripple, but it's happening. Sure. So if more of this gets together, and I have to say this to echo Brother Rishad, I think y'all in Turkey are sitting to take the lead, because the geographical location of Istanbul, the geographical location of Turkey as the bridge between Asia and Europe, you're at the point where you can bring this entire ummah together, this entire service conduit together. You're the convergence point. So perhaps, inshallah, the prayer and the hope is there's a lot of development out of Turkey. Something will happen. And what I'm doing is actually not new. It's not novel. It's not innovative. I have taken stuff, part out of my own theological and spiritual learnings, and part out of my professional experience to say, can business be done differently? And I'm seeing it works. That's it. That's simply it. So would we be able to fight against the biases and everything which is there? I don't think I'm qualified to answer that, Brother Yobuz, because bias is something that we all individually carry. We have to recognize first ourselves. So in terms of steps, it would be, as a business owner, as a leader, as a communal leader, as a parent, whatever, if we understand we can better ourselves and we start doing that, and then we flow that to the people we are working with, our family, you arrive in 30 days, you'll arrive at an environment that is automatically becoming better than it was on Thursday, or it was better on Friday, on this Saturday. And when more of these little pods spring up, the numbers come in. So you will, by process of data, you will arrive at a threshold where after you've hit 500,000 or 2.5 million, somewhere after that, the system will change. But the moment we apply labels like socialism, capitalism, Islamic finance, a lot of biases come up with those labels.
Sure.
So equitable is the word that I like. And I think no matter irrespective of where we are geographically, if business works within its community to be equitable, to make sure that it's not 92% to the stake shareholders and 5% to the company and 3% to the employees kind of a thing, we would be better off. However, greed is a different area to tackle. I'm being very, very particular here. A company, it can put its profits into reserves, put its profit into CSR, to use jargon, and actually uplift communities. And we will not have, all simple thing, just commit to one of the 30 UN Sustainable Development Goals. Take one of them, children development, hunger eradication, just take it. And then, so a company like Pfizer, for example, who's going to make millions, or Johnson & Johnson out of the COVID vaccine, let's say you just earmark 5 or 4% of that profit from that vaccine to go to agricultural development for, high-tech agri products. And when you put that down, you bring a whole industry vertical, agri-tech, mechanized agriculture, better quality seeds, farming process. So suddenly there's an upliftment of the entire community, from the farms all the way to the cities, to the people like us who are going to buy those organic products. Now you can bring in halal certification, organic certification, whatever you want in the process. But the value is the company that's doing that and says, Johnson says, if you take this vaccine, $10 goes to organic bread made by, Brother Yusuf in Istanbul. I, as a customer, I'm going to say, wow, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to take this vaccine because I'm doing my bit. I can't give it somewhere, but $10 is going to go for organic bread. Now let me go and look for that organic bread because it's better for my health. Overall development happens. That's my long-winded explanation to the question you asked.
Thank you, Joe. You really gave me joy today. I can't thank you enough.
Pleasure, sir.
Thank you
Pleasure,
so much.
Sir. Pleasure.
Joy. Thank you for everything you do for us, and I really appreciate you. My grandma was saying us always use good names to your children because they carry their names energy, and you are the greatest example for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Nestle.